Hello, Boopsies, and thank you for joining me today on this ASMR video. It's me, Tony Bomboni ASMR, and I wanted to talk about my trip a little bit with my partner and our friend. We were away for 6 days and 5 nights, and that was the longest break I've taken in quite a while, actually. Probably since maybe last year, perhaps, when I went to Arizona. So it was nice to have some time off, and we did quite a bit of things. I'm going to talk about that now. So, this is in no particular order, but one of the first places we went to is Gatorland, and we stayed in Orlando. So, we checked out a lot of these places in Orlando, but she also stayed here for one night, so we checked out a couple places here as well. So, I guess I can first talk about Gatorland and then I'll go back to when she was here, but I'm also going to show some triggers in this video as well and tap on them from time to time based on the places we've been. So I'm going to just do some talking first. So Gatorland was quite fun, and there were a lot of alligators, of course, baby little capers and big, large, saltwater crocodiles, like the deadliest of the deadly, right? So we saw quite a wide variety. You could actually throw a fishing line over with some fish hook attached to the hook and feed the alligator friends. There were so many. I've never seen this many in my life. We actually saw 2 albino alligators as well. And there was like a bird watching tower you get to climb. It's a really good deal. It's for how big the park is. We did kind of what they call, I think it's called Doom Buggy. So you ride on this very tall truck, and go through a lot of bumpy back roads kind of area, and it's quite muddy and wet. So you don't get wet on these rides, but still quite bumpy. So, tons of gift shops all around. Food, I got to try a fully loaded baked potato. So this place was country as hell, right? It definitely was country. My potato had sour cream, bacon, cheddar cheese, onions. Yeah, it was very filling. I only finished half of it. It was a $10 potato, so you can imagine how big it was. It's the size of someone's head. So, and then they had everything decorated for Halloween as well. So, that was fun. All right. Another place we went to was Epcot. So, Epcot was my favorite of all the Disney theme areas. And, there were a lot of kiddie rides. We got to ride a lot of them. The first one we went on was this space one that takes you in outer space, and you actually feel like you're being shot up into space, which is kind of funny because it's a centrifuge, I guess, so it spins you in place, making very fast, making you feel like you're actually shooting up. So it can make you dizzy. It did make me lightheaded. I was very nervous and slightly claustrophobic. Well, not very nervous. I would say I was slightly nervous, slightly claustrophobic when the contraption came down to kind of secure you in place. That was a little bit scary. And when they closed the doors and then they put the screens in front of you close like that, made you feel like you're very tight in this small spacecraft. So, of course, the realistic looking visuals made you feel as though you're actually being shot up in space. So yeah, the ride was kind of, naturally a little scary at first, but, and as you're waiting in line, there's like a lot of this like it looks like you're inside of like the space station or something. So it's pretty cool. So we just walked around and ate a bit, like this funnel cake, and that was good. And then I had boba peach tea, which was nice, from the Japan section. So Epcot is like Norway, Italy, it's like, it has the UK, a bunch of different places, and there were a lot of Asian stores in there. I like the Morocco area. I always wanted to go see Morocco, and I love the Moroccan culture. And so Epcot just overall was amazing. We got to see the Moana section. We got to see the Finding Nemo ride. We were there for 7 hours. I think that's the longest probably I've ever been in a theme park. I usually get through them pretty quickly within any park, really, 2 to 4 hours. I kind of just walked through. This probably was the biggest one. It was quite a lot of walking. My legs definitely felt it, and my feet especially on this trip. We did so much walking in so many different places. So I don't know if it was the most relaxing trip. I would say I just feel pretty worn out because we did so much. I wish it was just a little more relaxing, you know what I mean? But we were originally thinking of going to Hollywood Studios, and we just decided to stick with Epcot on that trip. It's like $205 per day every time you go to the parks, unless you have the season annual pass, which I do not, because I'm not that big of a fan of Disney, and I'm also not there that frequently. So I just decided to stick with the day pass. Although, to be fair, I went to 4 different Disney theme parks, I think, including the water park, this year alone, I believe. So, that was a total of, if you do the math, almost $700, which $750 will get you the annual pass, I believe. So, I might as well have gotten the annual, but anyway, so we wanted to also do a Island H2O water park. I haven't the annual pass for that one, but we just ran out of time. We simply didn't have the time. And we had a pool and a hot tub in our house, so what's the point of a water park when we spend so much time in the pool as well? So, but I've seen Island H2O enough this year, so I'm satisfied. I don't care that we didn't get to see it. We also planned to see SeaWorld. We didn't get to see that. Right out of time. We were going to go on the Ferris wheel. Right out of time, didn't get to see that. So I kind of have a list in front of me right here. We did get to see Disney Springs. And, I always have a good time at Disney Springs. It's quite a lot of walking. It's a lot of shops. You get to see a lot of stuff. I've been there like 4 to 5 times now. So it always is open till very late. So it's a lot of people, though, if you're not a fan of walking shoulder to shoulder with people. It can be a tight squeeze at times. You have to constantly dodge people, constantly plan and maneuver where you're going to walk, not to bump into someone, and not to walk too slow so no one's bumping into you from behind. I'm a pretty darn fast walker. I'll walk faster than 95% of people. My legs just go so it's no problem for me to go in and out, and I'm very tiny, so I can just maneuver through a crowd quickly. But some people are not a fan of that. I definitely am not. If I have to deal with that constantly, maybe 1 to 5% of my time, if I have to do that, fine. I will put up and deal with it. It's not a big deal to me. Crowds don't really make me nervous or anxious as they used to, so yeah, so we spent a couple hours there. There's always some nice ice cream there, and a lot to buy and spend your money on. So we tried to go to a restaurant, though. They said 3-hour wait time for the Dino Cafe. So I was like, that's ridiculous. So we decided to leave. We were very hungry. I ended up getting a dessert chow from Starbucks. Starbucks had a 10-minute wait, so it wasn't too bad. You definitely have to make reservations before you go into Disney Springs, and a lot of times the parking lots will be full. They have like three or four different parking lot sections. They call it grapefruit, lime, orange. So, the grapefruit I would say is the best because you get to walk over the bridge on the highway, and there's like this grand entrance into Disney Springs, and it's easy to remember because it's by the Swarovski crystal shop and by the Stitch statue that spits out water at you. So it has like flowers in the pot in the entrance. You can't miss it. The other ones are harder to find. So we went through the orange garage this time, but that was also an experience as well. That one is by the Coca-Cola store, so if you get lost, that's where you can find your way back. So then we got to see HMart. They just opened an HMart in Orlando on September 25th, 2025, and it was a grand opening. There's still a lot of people there. Oh my gosh, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder with people. It was packed. It's an Asian market, so you can find all sorts of goods. I was kind of disappointed at the lack of stuff I normally see in there, though. It more seemed like real, like raw, authentic, imported stuff. Like it was all in like Japanese and stuff. So I didn't really find what I was looking for in there quite necessarily. And they have like a mini food court in there, and different stations like vending machines, like how they have in Japan for different things. So that was interesting. But yeah, I wasn't quite a fan of that store, believe it or not. But we were supposed to check out other Asian markets, didn't have time. We went to Cassadaga, which is this psychic town. So I actually bought this from there, so I can start now showing you some things. It is jade, green jade, good for healing, abundance, I believe, protection, and I actually bought some green obsidian there and a couple other crystals, but I actually forgot it in the store. I really do think I forgot it in that shop. So they didn't leave me a voicemail, but someone kept trying to call me, which is really weird. Like, if you're gonna call me, leave me a voicemail. Like, don't be weird, like, don't just call me like I don't know who you are. It did say charity call, so I was like really weirded out by like, why is charity call calling me after I left that store? But anyway, I guess they wanted to tell me I forgot my things. I have a feeling I threw it in the trash, though. I don't know, like, while I was unpacking yesterday. But I love this bracelet. I love crystal bracelets like this one. So, hey, they can consider it charity, I guess, that I forgot my crystals. Oh, well. But I really wanted to work with those. They drew me in, and they had quite a bit of crystals in that shop that I've never had before. So, and then we went to see the Devil's Chair, which, like, they claim, like, if you leave, like, a beer, an unopened can of beer on the chair, it's in a cemetery. It's like a brick chair. Overnight, it will be open the next morning, they say. It's like kind of like a spooky haunted town. It's very witchy. So we went to the haunted museum, and that was interesting. It was actually my first time going in a haunted house. It was, I think, over 165 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So, it had like all sorts of memorabilia, all sorts of different things. Pictures of like, what do they call them? The ghost hunters on TV, and Harry Potter, and all sorts of things, like the definitions of what divination is, tarot, what clairsentience is, what clairaudience is, like all sorts of things, right? Like it had haunted dolls in it. Stuff like that doesn't scare me. It actually fascinates me. I wasn't really scared to go in. She was saying, like, when you walk in, hypersensitive people can pick up on some things. I definitely felt things touching me. Usually with ghosts, they like to touch me gently, sometimes scratch me. In this case, it felt very light. That's all I can say. I definitely was putting my protections up when I was walking into the building, but yeah, so it was definitely worth it to see. Of course, Halloween decor, so amongst other things. It's a great time of year to go because it's not too hot now. So they had a fairy garden, and it's a trail you can walk through with, oh my yeah, it was very cute, and they had like a labyrinth you can walk around. And then I saw the Native American trail there. It was very short, but it had like where they do rituals, like a circle in a circle in a circle, and they had like one Italian restaurant there. There was a welcome center. We went in, and they had all sorts of cutesy stuff like tarot cards, crystals, you know. You can write your name on a healing tree if you need healing. And then you can write someone's name down if they need healing. So that was nice to see. There were a lot of stuff in those stores. So it's a cute little town with a lot of old houses. Very low population. I almost barely saw anyone there, even in the park. But I'm really glad we went out of our way. It was like an hour and 15 minutes from where we were staying at. So it was worth the drive. Yeah, so I'm glad I got a crystal from there. So, then we went to Dinoland again, no particular order. That was the last, kind of one of the last places in the last day of our trip before I dropped our friend off at the airport. And it was just, it was very nice too. It was by Plant City, so I'm closer to Tampa. I think it's called Dinoland or Dinosaur World or Dino World or Dinosaur Land. I forgot the name. But, yeah. So, it's just a bunch of statues, tall statues of dinosaurs, all sorts of variety. You can see fossils, there's a museum. You know, I think it's mostly for children. They would like that a lot. But, you know, it's a bit of a walk to go around and see everything. And, they went all out with the Halloween decor. Like, they were putting, like, skeletons on the dinosaurs. Like, fake skeletons, of course. And, like, spooky ones that pop out and scare you. And smoke and steam. And, like, it was just very creative and cutesy. And, yeah, so we got to see a lot of spooky stuff. I wish they went all out for Epcot, but I know they're probably waiting closer to Halloween week for that. So, what else did we get to see, quite honestly? I'm going to just go look really quickly on my... Oh, I just got a Cameo. Thank you, guys. If you want to book a Cameo, you can go on cameo.com/TonyBomboni. So we went to Cracker Barrel, actually, and ate one of those days, and there was an Orange Bird vintage metal plaque on the entrance of the doorway. We were asking how much it was. She was like, anything in the Cracker Barrel store if you want to buy, inside or out. It's like $500 to $1,000. Okay, so I didn't know you could actually do that. We went to Saint Armand's as well. So I'm going to show you some stuff I got from there in a moment. So the rock garden, I got this one this time. That was very beautiful. I was very happy to see rocks there again. Usually over the summer there's a lack of rocks because tourists take all of them. So, you know, in the off season it was pretty dead. It was a Tuesday afternoon. So everyone's at school or work or both. So, you know, it was nice. Like there were like, 3 people in the whole, you know, pizza place we usually like to go to. So that was nice. Just have a relaxed time, not have to like, you know, have too much crowds. So this is very pretty, so I'll add that to my collection. Then we went to another store and I got some coasters. I collect coasters, like I collect fridge magnets from different places I've been. So, but with coasters I'm more lenient. I'm like, if it's a nice coaster, I'll buy it. I don't care if it's in my hometown or not. So this is the Sarasota, Florida one, and it has sea turtles. And I love animals, but this one was so pretty. It's like mosaic theme. So Lantern Press really makes some very nice coasters, and I believe postcards as well. So then I also got this coaster. This is the alligators, also kind of to remind me of our adventure in Gatorland. So it's not Florida without alligators, so very pretty coasters. Pretty. So I got this in the same store. They were just very pretty looking. So, at the VRBO, they had no shampoo or conditioner to my surprise, so I bought a shampoo conditioner in one. Thick and full hair. Sandalwood and cardamom oil. Cardamom. So this smelled fabulous, and it did feel very nice. It has vitamin B3 mineral complex. And it's 92% naturally derived, paraben sulfate free. So you just pump the shampoo, the glob of shampoo. It has a nice color I like when it comes to a shampoo, conditioner. And of course I had to get body wash as well. But I'm not gonna show that one. So another store, I got a wooden postcard. So this one, it was supposed to be for my friend that came to visit, but I forgot to give it her. So I'm keeping it for now. So it has the towns of paradise. Oh, actually it says paradise, like just the word paradise. Amusement parks, sand, the Sunshine State, tropical oranges and beaches. It has the areas of the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, Daytona Beach, Tallahassee, Cape Canaveral, Miami, Everglades National Park, Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Key West. I have been pretty much to all of these. So it's nice to have a little Florida souvenir. And then where else have I been? Let me see on my Google Maps search. There was a place called Minch Coffee, which is like French, I believe. Had pretty good sandwich there, and people I went with were telling me the coffee was good. So they have a cat cafe next to it, so you get to pet the cats while having a coffee, which is nice. There's one place we went as a pizza place, but like $30 for a medium pizza. I was like, forget about it. And it was, dead inside. No one was there. So I guess it was also a little dirty. So we just decided to go to McDonald's that one night. We were really hungry, and everything was starting to close down. So that was actually a much more pleasant experience than elsewhere. So, that's it, actually. That was all the places I could see just off the top of what I can see from here. So, the night of course, they had no tea there whatsoever. So I got green tea. And this was also my symbol of finally I can have hot tea, I can have green tea, because I got my permanent cap now, my crown, after the root canal. So I had like 2.5 weeks of no hot or cold beverages. So finally I can eat normally. It's all done. Everything went well. Yeah. So they did that to me right before I left on my trip, like a couple hours before. So I'm glad that was done. Everything was perfect timing. I'm glad that happened to my tooth before my trip. Everything just, went smoothly, thank God. So yeah. So I'm really grateful to be able to have tea again. And coffee. Oh my gosh. I definitely enjoyed coffee on my trip as well. So here is the other wooden postcard. I kept this for myself because it's beautiful. It has Florida's flamingos, and just the color, the pink and the green, work very well together. And the yellow. So I'm really happy about this. So this would be like my 9th wooden postcard now. Postcard. And one day I will send them out to someone that deserves it. I want it to be someone close and personal in my private life, like not just any random person. But maybe I could give them away to poopsies as well. Actually, I didn't think of that until now. I wanted to show you this because this is the bomb.com apple Danish. Whenever you stop by like a gas station or whatever, buy you this apple Danish. It's so good every time. It does not fail. And it fills your belly up pretty darn well. Pretty darn well. So the last thing I wanted to show you is what I just got in the mail. The day I came back home, it arrived pretty early. I had it on pre-order. It is the Harry Potter Goblet of Fire pop-up book. And it is now illustrated by Carl James Mountford. So no longer Mina Lima. I don't know why. I have yet to open it. I did keep it in this plastic wrap to kind of protect it. So, but I am very much looking forward to reading through this and going through all the illustrations. On my trip, I barely even had time to read my regular book that I read every day on top of, reading this. I was doing my Disney puzzles to keep my mind active and busy while, I'm trying to drift off to sleep in my room. We all each had our own private bedroom. So, sometimes I can't fall asleep right away. So doing puzzles and reading definitely helps me drift off. But I just haven't had time to read the Harry Potter series. So we're trying to finish by January when our, hopefully maybe around that time when our next trip should be to Universal. I haven't been to Universal Orlando since I was like 10 years old. So, 21 years later, it'll be nice to see again and probably hopefully recall or remember some things. I'm sure a lot has changed in that period of time. But yeah, so it was quite an experience. I had, for the most part, a pretty good time. And yeah, like I said, I just kind of got a little maybe worn out because I didn't realize how, actively busy we'd be seeing different places. And I honestly to God thought we would still have some time to see more stuff, but we really did run out of time. There's probably one or two other places we probably did do or see. I just don't remember off the top of my head with our time. So yeah, but I ate at this one sushi place by the resort we stayed at earlier. That was a pretty long wait even for the food, but it was pretty good. The food's always pretty solid there. It's just any place that's new. That was also a new grand opening place. It's gonna be busy, So I can't recall anywhere else we ate. We tried this one buffet. That was okay. It was not the best. Yeah, so that was pretty much our time. The nice spacious home with a pool we got to spend. Not too much time there. Only during the day, like only in the morning, and then like 10 o'clock afterwards, 10 p.m. or afterwards for bedtime. That was really the only time we got to spend at the house. We were pretty much out all day for the 5 days. So we also got, before we went to Orlando, to go to Venice Beach Pier. We went at night. No one was there but one person, which was wonderful. So got to show her that. It was our friend's first time seeing the beach at night as well. So after the pier, we went down to go walk on the sand and feel the water in our feet and pick up some seashells, which was a pleasant experience. And it gets quite a bit chilly at night by the pier, so I made sure to definitely get a hoodie. It's not cold in the daytime, but at night definitely is getting colder now. So I can definitely tell that the fall season is here. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, the story time in this show and tell, make sure you click subscribe. And if you want to support my work and sign up for a service, check me out on TonyBomboni.com. My link's in the description box below. And I will catch you all very, very soon. Take care.